Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again, and I'm here with my part 2 continuation of my epic comparison between the Redmi Note 8 Pro, the Honor 9X Pro, and the Xiaomi Mi 9T. And here we're going to include some of the sections that I didn't include in the previous video. So talking about DRM Info, want to do the quick audio speaker test, and then wrapping up with that epic camera comparison. I've been taking a number of shots that I want to share and put them side by side and share them with y'all, and then we'll wrap up here and just talk about which of these phones still is the best option. Does it still stand, in my opinion, that the Mi 9T is the best option, or has anything changed from that initial assessment? So let's have a look. Okay, so before we go into the audio speaker test, just wanted to point it out and bring up DRM Info so you see what the deal is. 2 China release phones and 1 global release phone. And what is the thing you notice? Well, you notice on the 9X Pro, this phone is not even, there's like no license whatsoever. It hasn't even applied for one. Meanwhile, the DRM Info looking at wideband CDM on the Redmi Note 8 Pro, no surprises, L3, and last but not least, the Mi 9T global version, and this is why I love the global versions of phones, L1 included. That means this phone is going to be HD Netflix capable. That is a major win here for the Mi 9T. All right, and now the quick audio speaker test. I'm going to bring the mic down. Let's have a listen. And what can I say? We have a clear first, second, and third. In third place, the Honor 9X Pro with just a really lousy speaker. It sounds like a rattly old can. It just doesn't work. All the sounds are muddled and is definitely the worst of the bunch. In second place, we have the Redmi Note 8 Pro, which is a definite improvement over the Redmi Note 7 Pro speaker, but it's not amazing. It goes from being a decent speaker to a good speaker, but I think the kind of tinniness is still there in this Redmi Note 8 Pro. And in first place, we go with the Mi 9T because it's got the most balanced sound. I mean, it may not be the loudest speaker on the block, but it definitely is the clearest, and all of the separation of the instruments there is more defined. So I give it here to the Mi 9T in the audio speaker test. And so wrapping up here with camera, and we've already gone over the specs of these phones. They all have these awesome triple camera setups. In the case of the Redmi Note 8 Pro, you see it's even got a quad camera setup. Sony IMX582s on both the Mi 9T and the Honor 9X Pro, while the Redmi is now using that new Samsung GW1. That 64 megapixel sensor has been touted because of the number of megapixels, but I have seen some videos out there, shout out to Lim Reviews, who were less than impressed with the quality of it. But enough talk, I'm going to let your eyes have their own judgment on them. Have a look at these samples and let me know what you think in the comments. So just quick final verdict on the camera quality here. I do think that this Samsung sensor in daylight does a good job, but in low light, it's a different story. And I really don't know if this was the best choice to actually make over a Sony IMX586. Now, trying to differentiate with higher megapixels, that's one way that you kind of create buzz around a phone and say, this is the first 64 megapixel camera on a smartphone. Yeah, that's going to make a number of people take notice. But once you actually start using that sensor, you start seeing that the quality is not to the level of a 48 megapixel Sony IMX586. So if you gave me a choice with Samsung's new 64 megapixel sensor and the tried and tested Sony IMX586, I'm going with Sony. And so final verdict here, guys, wrapping up this part 2 of this epic comparison, which of these phones, and I mentioned previously that I thought the Mi 9T was the best option, best balanced option of all these, does that still stand? After a week of use from that video, is my decision still the same? The answer is definitely yes. The Mi 9T is still, I think, the most balanced from all these three phones. And yes, it's a bit more pricey in that kind of $320 US price range versus the $350 for the Honor 9X Pro and $250 for the Redmi Note 8 Pro. But it's just a step above in so many areas: design, display, camera. I just think the results speak for themselves, and audio is also better. There's just so much more that you're getting if you just spend a little more for this Mi 9T. Or if you're in India, maybe the Redmi K20. I just think that when it comes down to it, there were more compromises on these phones. And 1 week into using this Redmi Note 8 Pro, I'm just finding more compromises with this phone that I hadn't seen initially. Namely with that MediaTek G90T. Go ahead and watch my 1 week review that I just posted if you haven't already. I kind of do more deep dive into why I'm concerned that that was a decision made here to include that MediaTek processor in this Redmi Note 8 Pro. But that's it for this video, and hit me up in the comments, which of these would you pick? Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked it, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon for future updates. So I'm back, guys, and a very exciting announcement later this evening, the Apple announcement. Now, I know you guys aren't big Apple fans, but I am always going to be an iOS and Android fan. I love both platforms, and so I'm very excited to see what iPhone and what Apple have in store here for the iPhone 11, the 11 Pro Max, and any other awesome stuff that's being released. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech signing off. Have a good one.